Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All those hours no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Think of every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
Seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman, what did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now. Marshawn Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! Not game! Wardell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in.
A career year, like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks this season. And you're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it. Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking moment. We'll take it.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Put him in there.
This knocked me off, though.
Who the heck is that guy?
Deflected good, help defense from the Warriors. Oh, what a pass! And Kuminga throws it down! This could be the pass of the year so far. You might watch every game the rest of the season in the NBA.
Mr. Announcer guy. So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that.
You're such a hater.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. HG and Caveman in the house.
What up?
We got H-Train on the sound. Getting into another weekly report on sports. We got two quick things to get into, actually. Because on July 4th, MBR, we're officially announcing it's going to happen. We're taking to the skies on Independence Day, everybody. And we are going to be having a skydiving experience for veterans and first responders with disabilities. And I like this quote on here. It says, if you've ever dreamed of jumping for freedom, healing, or honoring your journey, this is your chance. So we're going to be selecting 18 participants this year, and it's going to be based on the power of your guys' story. So you're going to send in an email to us. You're going to describe how much the jump means to you. Give us a little brief history on yourself, a little brief story on your military background or your first response background. Tell us a little bit about yourself. The deadline is May 15th, and the email, we'll put that up real quick, is manager@mbradio.us. Let me get that up for you guys.
And one other housekeeping item. MBR, through a network of veterans around the country, we've learned of a missing child, Olivia Hanson. She's 14, 5'3", between 150 and 170 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. She was last seen April 17th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, possibly with adult male ages 20 to 25 years old near the Ambassador Hotel. If you're in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area and you see her, please call the MBR hotline 720-619-0627, and we will get on our network and help bring her home. So let us know if you have any information with that regard.
But with that being said, we got those two things out of the way. Let's get right into the show. UFL Week 4. I believe it was Week 4, right? Week 3 or 4?
Week 4, yep.
Yep. All right. We got Week 4 that just passed.
And
this was getting in the full swing of things pretty quick.
Yeah. Starting on Friday, your Panthers with a pretty commanding win over the Showboats, 27-9. I believe that makes them 3-1 on the season now.
Yeah, we lost the first game of the season, or the second game, to Birmingham. Since then, we've been looking pretty solid. Our defense has really figured it out.
Yeah. Always thought that was going to really be the strength of the Panthers here this year. And so far, yeah, it has. EJ Perry, no revenge game for this guy.
Nope.
Abysmal 8 of 16 for 74 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, the Showboats offense, they just couldn't get anything going really at any point. They struggled to run the football. Only 2 sacks, really, for the Panthers. But the pressure that they had was just insane. I mean, it just, they never really they didn't bring Perry down a whole lot. They just never really let anything develop. And he looked uneasy and uncomfortable. And they were winning the point of attack. The trenches, they controlled those. They just dominated them up front. On both sides of the ball, too, because Perkins, he looked pretty comfortable back there passing, throwing for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then as a team, the Panthers racking up 169 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground as well.
It's easy work.
Yeah, they just
butter, man. Like butter.
Cruise to a pretty easy 27-9 victory here. And a lot of those points coming in the fourth quarter. This game looked like, despite the struggles, Memphis's defense kept them kind of in it. They were only down 14-9 going into halftime, but they get shut out in the second half. Scoreless third quarter from both teams, and then the Panthers fourth quarter rolled around and they really just they took control. 2 really good long sustained drives there in the fourth quarter that burned up a lot of clock and punched the ball in the end zone both times to really just seal this up. So it was a good dominant win here for the Panthers, who are looking solid to start the season. Now, who's not looking so great? My Battlehawks drop our second one in a row. Now 2-2 in a 30-15 loss.
Oh man.
To the Arlington Renegades. And same sort of situation, really. The second and third quarter, great, shut out Arlington. But the first and the fourth quarter, disasters, getting outscored 16-3. In the first quarter, 14-0 in the fourth. especially, you're down 16-6 at halftime. You score 9 points in the third. It's only a 1-point game going into the fourth quarter, and then you just drop the ball majorly in the fourth. Defense fell apart, and Max Duggan, some of you guys might remember that name. TCU's quarterback on that incredible season they had a number of years ago where they went to the national championship before ultimately getting whooped by Georgia. And yeah, he's not really going to be the answer. Came in after Manny Wilkins got hurt after only throwing 2 passes, which he wasn't able to complete. And I tell you, man, it was rough watching this guy throw the football. 8 for 17, 78 yards, 2 interceptions.
Oh, geez.
Final stats on the day. Yeah.
Every interception has a story.
I mean, he just gets panicky at the slightest bit of pressure. And he was looking to run way too often, he could not go through his progressions and his reads. As like every time they had him drop back to pass, I had to cover my eyes there.
It was
towards the end of the
times.
game. It was bad. Yeah. Didn't get a whole lot of help out on the running game. Sailors, it's tough going for him here. The Battlehawks, their offense really should be one of the best in the league, and it is just not. It's not been clicking these past few weeks here. And the defense they've played good at times, but ultimately they keep faltering and letting down the offense. It hasn't really looked that pretty on either side of the ball. Some concerns for the offensive line. I mean, this might just be the Renegades defense, though. Generating 6 sacks. They were just all over Duggan. And like I said, he just folded under the pressure. Got those the 2 interceptions, forced the fumble that they recovered as well. Just really dominant. I mean, despite how close the score was, they pretty much dominated us to start the game, took their foot off the gas there in the middle of the game, realized, oh crap, they're coming back, dominated us again in the fourth quarter. And some squandered opportunities.
It's like right when it really mattered is when Arlington is like, hey, we're gonna lock in here and just get 2 unanswered touchdowns in the fourth quarter and close this one out.
Yep. So that was
they were in that game. Manny Wilkins doesn't get hurt. I think that St. Louis Battlehawks win this game.
Yeah. It's the first quarter. I mean, 3 drives. 1 you get a field goal, and then you take a 13-minute drive.
The first drive was a fumble.
Or no, I mean a
fumble,
2-minute
field goal pick.
Yeah. And then ending in an interception, just crusher. But
yeah, they had the ball with 4 minutes left in the game.
This team's got to get healthy. Manny Wilkins, hopefully he can come back from the injury. We need Hakeem Butler back. That'll be big.
That
credit,
is the biggest piece, really.
Give some credit to Arlington. This isn't like, they played really well. It was mostly just getting it done on the offensive side. Perez, more of a game manager than anything. He did throw 1 interception, but wasn't too bad there.
He just had to keep him in it.
Yeah.
They had everything going in their favor from what it seems like. The story that tells in this game is that Arlington they got the luck of the draw with some of the injuries right now in St. Louis roster. Just
Arlington's going to be pretty good, man.
don't sleep on them.
That offense could really wake up and become a threat, but their defense has been pretty impressive these first few weeks here. I'm liking a lot what I'm seeing out of the Renegades. That is for sure.
The former champion is at our next game. They beat the Houston Renegades 23-16. Kind of one you figured was going to happen here. Houston.
Credit to the Roughnecks, though.
But they stayed in it. This is closer than it looks.
They were leading there for a good chunk of that fourth quarter too. took a 16-14 or they were just down by one rather going into that fourth quarter. 17-16 deficit. Then they just couldn't get their offense really going though in the fourth. Couple of field goals there and a touchdown in the third. They actually missed a field goal that would have put them up to end the third quarter, which was huge. That was pretty demoralizing for them. You could see a real shift in the team after that. And then meanwhile, Birmingham just playing that ball control type of offense, burning the clock, putting together some long drives, just ending in field goals. But they're just playing keep away really, and letting that defense of theirs rest.
No run game here from Houston. 64. They got both of their touchdowns on the ground,
right,
but their leading rusher had 17 yards. This was a really insane stat line right here from Jalen McClendon.
Like their pass blocking,
no rushing yards at all. They're 264 passing yards.
Their pass blocking was fine, but they could not run the ball. Get to the second level or even really establish a whole 8 tackles for a loss. And this one for the Stallions.
Yeah, you know what they're going to be doing in practice all week. Figuring out those blocking schemes.
Yeah, they're going to have to get that figured out somewhere. They were able to run it decent in the red zone. Once they got the ball down there, they were able to get it, goal-to-goal situation and run in touchdowns. Which, is surprising. You look at it like you'd say Houston did a better job through the air just passing, but 0 passing touchdowns to 2 on the ground for them. And then on the flip side, the Stallions really ran the ball a lot better, but no rushing touchdowns. Matt Carroll with 2 touchdowns on not really great efficiency. It was 14-25. Yeah. This offense for Birmingham, it's the way I would describe it, it's like just serviceable enough to really get the job done. And
they look rocky against teams with a solid defense. They look pretty rocky sometimes.
But at least that defense of theirs is really stepping up.
Yeah, they are getting saved.
So, guys like Tay Crowther, Chappelle Russell have been great all season. Kehava Tienzo, this is probably his best game of the season. 9 tackles, tackle for a loss as well. All right. It was a lot of what they were doing to stop this run too. It was like blitzes from the secondary were really good in this game for him. Coming down and just make it mucking up the run blocking at the line of scrimmage here.
And everybody really just getting active on these tackles too. They got 6 guys, 5 or more tackles.
All right, flying to the ball.
Everybody's on there. Rashad Wildgoose.
I thought that we'd see more of the defense take a step back for Birmingham because that was where they lost a lot of talent.
Yeah,
guys going up to the NFL and everything, but they seem like they're just as good as they were last year, if not better.
This is a pretty solid start for their defense.
I think they're really missing the mobility of Adrian Martinez. He just opened up a lot with his ability to run the football and then open up the running game some more. Corral's, a decent runner, but he just doesn't have the speed or athleticism of Martinez. I mean, Martinez was, he could give you like $180 to 200 passing and another 80 to 90 on the ground. Like, he was just I think we were really not crediting him enough with how much of the Birmingham offense he was, how much of an engine for him he was. Like I said, they're still pretty serviceable here. If that defense isn't flying around to the ball, though, if the offense has to step up and score a bit more, be interesting to see. Although maybe they'll rise to the occasion. They haven't really ever been in like a situation where the offense needs to go at a faster pace. They're kind of able to just take it slow and play it slow, and kind of just take what's given to them.
Just don't mess up any of the opportunities that they do get. They're always looking for it. So whenever that does happen, they're ready for it.
Absolutely. All right. Our final matchup of the weekend, the San Antonio Brahmas go on and defeat the Defenders to hand them their first loss of the season and pick up their first win of the season, 24-18.
All right, Brahmas, there we go.
Got off to a hot start in the first quarter, got 12 points there, scored 6 in the second and third, and then scoreless fourth quarter where the defenses kind of took over there. Looked like the Defenders, they had some good momentum going into halftime. And we're looking good off of the opening kickoff there in the third quarter, right? You get a touchdown at the start of the second quarter, 2 field goals, one right before half. You take the opening half kickoff in the third quarter and you march it down the field in 10 plays, score a touchdown. It was like, okay, I mean, it looks like they're really getting something going. And then just like that, all of a sudden they started struggling again. And they really just, next time they got the football, they just couldn't move that ball until that final drive where they ended up turning it over on downs with 21 seconds left. So this is one that kind of surprised me, right? What adjustments that the Brahmas made after that opening drive touchdown that really took the wind out of the Defenders' sails. It's hard to pinpoint exactly. I think maybe it was a little combination of them just adjusting their coverages, playing back a bit more, and then just coming down to make the tackle and taking away that deep play. And the Defenders, I think, were also just a bit too conservative at points and could have stood to be a bit more aggressive. Being down 6, put some pressure on the defense. They never really did that. And Teamu is going to have the most passing yards in the league with the worst completion percentage. I swear this guy
19 for 31.
This is actually probably his best on the season. It's like every game this guy's had 20 or more incompletion. So this, honestly, 12, I'll take that from him. Just 12, that's not too bad. Yeah.
That's not bad. Almost 300 passing yards, though.
Right. He was slinging it until around the fourth quarter, and then it's like he got in his head or something. He just was scared to really try to push it down the field too much. The blocking really got worse there too. I'll give him that. He had to deal with some more pressure after that. Kellen Mond, just real game manager fashion. I mean, you look at this and you're like, how did DC find a way to lose this? I mean, they outgained them. They were just better defensive. For a lot of the game, they looked better defensively. They weren't able to get any sacks, but they've, neither team turned the ball over. So it's just more yards, a bunch of tackles for loss for the Defenders. But stats don't really mean anything at the end of the day.
Yeah, because they got to finish out those drives in the end zone, get some points out of it. You can go down.
I think a lot of it it was really inflated from those few good drives that they had, and then that last drive of the game, 5 good drives really propped up their numbers. Where the Brahmas, every drive wasn't nothing to write home about, but it was solid. It was there wasn't really a bad drive for the Brahmas, or a very costly one at the very least. Every drive, for the most part, was a productive one. At the end of the day, that's all you got. That's all you can ask for.
Shout out Destroying also. You got the YouTuber kicker, man. Shout out San Antonio Brahmas.
I think. And you know what? Also, we got Brad Wing.
Oh yeah.
Let's give their punter some credit, because dude, his punting in this game, because they did have a couple of 3-and-outs, And even though those drives are positive because he just pinned them back, they were super long punts, and he was really able to flip field position there, which was huge. I mean, they only they did return all 4 of his punts, but the hang time he put on there just wasn't a lot of room
enough
to go. And he was putting them back
yeah.
inside the 20, and they'd bring it up a little bit. Yeah, but
that's not the greatest
it
field
wasn't
position
enough. Yeah.
off the punt.
You get better position there off of a touchback on those kickoffs.
Yeah. Especially, they're using the regular kickoff rules, right? They're not, or are they still doing the same as the NFL, where they're all doing?
Yeah, they're still the same as the NFL.
Okay.
Well, update on the standings here just before we move on. Arlington leading the XFL conference at 3-1 with the Defenders right behind them. Then the Battlehawks in third place at 2-2. The Brahmas finally getting their first win are still in fourth at 1-3. It's the Stallions and the Panthers tied for first. Stallions, by virtue of a head-to-head matchup, are the technical first place team, but both teams are 3-1. Roughnecks 1-3, and the Showboats a rough 0-4. So the only team yet to get a win here.
That's a tough start.
We'll see if they can pick one up here in week 5. Probably not, though. They got the Stallions on Friday night. That game will be in Birmingham. And then Caveman on Saturday. It's our teams facing off, Panthers and Battlehawks.
It's on ESPN.
You guys might actually kick our asses if Duggins plays. It looks like Manny Wilkins might be ready to play, but I don't know if he's going to be 100% healthy if he does play. That might be just as bad. We're going to have to figure something out on the offensive line. It's going to be another long night. That pass rush is going to just wreck us.
Attack us, man.
Then we've got the Defenders and the Arlington Renegades. That's going to be a Sunday morning shootout, more than likely, if I had to guess there. I thought those two teams like to sling the rock. And then the Roughnecks and the Brahmas. Brahmas can get their second win and potentially move up here in the season.
They got the home field advantage. Both the Texas teams, though, so we might see a little bit of a rivalry here. Both teams are kind of hungry for a win, too. Hungry to keep the streaks alive.
Changing gears a little bit here. Going over to the MLB. Still very early into the season, but just some updates on and observations we got going on here. I just want to first say the NL West, crazy, besides the Rockies.
Yeah.
Rockies bunts. I mean, there's a realistic shot of there being 4 playoff teams from here. I mean, the Diamondbacks, even with their 9 losses, I mean, they
always seem to play
good. Their batting is super good. I mean, they can put up runs. The problem is that they give up a ton of runs. I mean, them and the Cubs have some of their series this year have been insane. Like the amount of points scored. But they opening week or their opening week series against them, they were down 4-2 going into the 8th, and then they put up 8 runs in the 8th inning to end up winning it. And then they had another game, I want to say about a week ago, where they against the Cubs again, and there were 21 runs scored in the 7th and 8th inning between those two teams. So that's so saying the Diamondbacks, they can put up runs. And it's just the thing is they're going to have to figure out a better pitching rotation, because there are some days where they got the right guys in there, but then when they go deeper into their bullpen, it gets a little iffy. The Giants, surprisingly pretty good here too. They're looking real solid to start. The Dodgers, obviously the billion-trillion-dollar lineup that they have, they're going to be good. But it's the Padres here in first place. Man, the Padres, they might actually win the West, though. I mean, it's a long season, so we'll see if they can stay healthy. But they're sick. and they got some
They're on it right
Michael King, man. I got that guy on my fantasy baseball team.
now.
Dog.
Right now, dude.
He's a dog, bro. He pitched like he had a 30, I think it was 37-point game.
Wow.
The other night, man. 9 innings pitched. There was a no hitter against the Rockies. So I mean,
Well, of course it was.
that'll happen. Yeah. He just cooked up. West is super stacked. The aforementioned Cubs leading the Central right now.
They aren't playing bad. Do you see how badly they keep
They're
the
solid.
Dodgers?
The Brewers they're not really getting off to the start I was hoping to see from them after being a playoff team last year. The Reds, the Cardinals, Pirates, all just kind of average to below average.
Like we'll
Cubs,
see if they have a turnaround or anything,
Yeah,
but like it doesn't really seem like that's
right. And we see some teams like switch an extra gear, they'll get going. But yeah, early on, if things keep going the way it's going, the Cubs might run away with the Central. You go up to the East, Phillies, man, kind of a similar situation to the Diamondbacks. I mean, they got some sluggers there.
They just got to pick it up.
The defense, yeah, has just
differential. Right
it's not
now.
even like the pitching's been terrible, but it's just their infield and outfield defense not great this year.
Making plays, they just got to start making plays, and they'll be.
You got to think like that's like kind of an older team, man. Their championship window is
it's like closer and closer to being up. That's a good point right there.
Yeah.
Now we're on the AL.
Yeah.
Should we start East, West, Central?
Let's jump into the East here. Red Sox, Yankees, classic rivalry there.
What's going on
for first place here?
I just realized that 9 wins for the Orioles. Another team, playoff team last year. What the heck?
They've been real rocky, yeah. The Blue Jays, they re-signing Vlad Guerrero, got that deal worked out with him. I think they could be a sneaky team this year, man. I think they'll be in that wild card race, man. Like they look got it worked out. I mean, Guerrero's a stud, obviously. They got some real good real good infield defense. Pitching ain't bad. I think the Blue Jays, I'll keep an eye on them. They'll certainly be in the mix. I don't know if they're quite there yet where they can make it. And then if they come in, I don't, whoever the 1 seed that they'll have to play will probably clobber them. But at least they'd make it, man. They'd make it.
They're looking like they're just allowing a lot of points right now. They're on a 4-game losing streak. Each of them they've allowed 5 or more runs. The Astros in this series have beat them 7-0 and 5-1. So they've got a game tonight, actually, last game of the series. So, and it's in Houston, so it's kind of not the most favorable matchup. That's a pretty far travel for the Blue Jays.
Looking around in the Central, Royals, slow start there. I think they'll get it going, though. They're kind of getting healthier. And, they got Bobby Witt Jr., obviously one of the best players in the league. Stud there. I think they'll get going. Guardians are looking good. Cruising to a potential playoff spot again. I think they'll definitely make that. The Tigers, your boy Scooble also got him, man.
That guy squad last year.
That guy's a demon. He's on another one of my fantasy pitchers, and just an absolute stud. So Scooble's been really good. Yeah.
They just got to stay healthy. They got some guys there.
I forget which one's the pitching award. Is that Cy Young?
Yeah, Cy
Young. Yeah, I think he's a Cy Young candidate for sure, man. He
got it
sick.
last year. Do back to back.
He could do it back to back, man.
Come on now.
White Sox are pretty, but
yeah, sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah. And AL West looking like it could be fairly competitive. Even the A's, who are the only team with a losing record, 10-13, certainly look.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, certainly looking all right compared to some of the other bottom feeder teams that we got around the league. The Angels still got Mike Trout there. Astros, they're obviously solid. Mariners 12-11 right now. It's real early in the season, and a lot of things can change. That's that 162 games, but it's a the central divisions in each AL and the West divisions rather looking real good in both the American and National League.
This is honestly though a good time while teams are trying to find that right rotation to use in their right lineups. You're going to see a lot of runs being scored, I feel like, in these early games of the season. This is, if you want to see some high-scoring games, I feel like this is the perfect time to watch. It's kind of, teams are kind of rocky right now. They're kind of figuring out their rotations and all that. So, and if they're playing the Rockies with our minus 52 point differential, nobody even comes close to that. Nobody even comes close to that. 1-9 in the last 10. Let me just look at some of these scores, dude. We were talking about it in the group chat. They got their new jerseys.
The jerseys are nice, but it's just like even like all their prospects and everything. Like, hey, this guy looks nice, but like I don't.
The only one I'd get is Chris Bryant. His nickname's the Caveman.
Does he?
So that's the only reason why I would get
like
that one.
Does this guy really move the needle for them in any significant way to be competitive? I don't think so.
Here we go. What date was this game? The Brewers beat us 17-2.
Pitching's just their bullpen is atrocious. Don't even want to talk about
April 9th.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Some of your leaders here in the MLB, Aaron Judge obviously doing his thing, best batting average, but aforementioned Mariners and Athletics, dude. Cal Ray, Tyler Soderstrom are both tied for first place in home runs with 9, and Mike Trout behind them with 8 there. Fernando Tatis of the Padres right behind him with 8 as well. Some of your pitching leaders, Max Fried, Nick Pivetta, another great pitcher there in that San Diego bullpen. Those guys with the most wins so far here in the MLB with 4, up there with Brandon Pfaadt of the Diamondbacks. Earned run average, Tyler Mahale. He's got the best ERA right now. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers. Those guys both sub 1 ERA, 0.68 for Mahale, Yamamoto with a 0.93.
I'd say round down. I'll just give him a 0.9.
Yeah, there you go. Give him 0.9 there. Some of your RBI leaders, Judge obviously going to be up there. Pete Alonso of the Mets. Ellie De La Cruz, and he's really developing as a batter there.
Dude, he was really he's starting to get that consistency down.
Yeah.
Where last year it was like every once in a blue moon, he would have a nasty game. This season is really, I think he's going to have a huge, huge offensive explosion.
I think you might be right, man.
More than just stealing bases, because he's second with 9.
Up there with 9 stolen bases.
Because we know he's got the speed. If this guy can get a good bat on him, we could see some crazy plays.
Who's striking people out like crazy? Mackenzie Gore there from Washington. You got Cole Reagans. I like Reagans a lot. He's really good there for KC. Zach Wheeler, the Phillies. Logan Gilbert, some of the leaders in your strikeouts this season. All those guys with 41 or more. Gore lead on the way with 45 there.
Wheeler pretty underrated, honestly, this year.
Well, that's a quick little MLB update. We'll keep you guys posted on what's going on there. Long season, a lot of baseball to go. But it's been a pretty interesting season so far. A lot of runs, I think. Those torpedo bats, man, are they making a difference?
If it's legal, go ahead and do it. If it's
I'm all
legal,
for
go
it.
ahead and do it. Why not?
We're going to go ahead and head over to our first music break. When we come back, buckle up, folks. We got the MLB playoffs, the NBA playoffs, rather, going on, and the chase for the Stanley Cup. It's been a rowdy, wild first round. So we're going to jump in, dissect all of the action there. So stay tuned. You're listening till the final whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
Stand up for the red, white, and blue. Stand up for the values we hold true. With gratitude I'll stand as our flag begins to wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up, put your hand on your heart. Stand up for the freedom it imparts. Bless all who stand for justice. Bless all who stand for peace in the home of the brave and the land of the free. Now our flag still stands for freedom, for which we pay the price. We honor and respect those who made the sacrifice. So I'll stand. So stand up for the red, white, and blue. Stand up for the values we hold true. With gratitude I'll sing as our anthem starts to play o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Stand for Senior Airman Holland Pickard.
Specialist 4th Class Robert Summey, U.S. Army.
Staff Sergeant Jerry Altman, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Zachary Stead, Air Force.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. HG and Caveman are back in the house. H-Train on the sound this morning. We're all hanging out, having a good time. And I got to hold this off. We got to stop from playoffs because Saturday and Sunday was WrestleMania 41 weekend. I completely forgot. I got off work on Saturday and started watching NBA playoff games that were still on and completely forgot that it was WrestleMania weekend. We had 2 full days of pretty good matches, like a whole 10 hours worth of live WWE matches. Little commercial breaks in between, but it was still good. We had some awesome moments in between the matches, like Stone Cold Steve Austin drunk driving an ATV and smashing into the guardrail, injuring somebody in the front row. It looked like.
Dude, I would have dropped to the ground. Played dead.
My neck and my back.
They would have had the. I would have had to be resuscitated after getting hit by him in front of millions of people.
WWE level sell is what I would do. I would have a WWE level flop after getting hit like that.
Saw George Kittle was there, pounded the beer.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Getting the crowd hyped up.
They had, who else was there? That one
Pat
comedian.
McAfee. He got his
awesome
ass whooped from something, dude. I just saw him like after a match or something, like red face, like
that was on Monday.
Dry heaving.
Monday after WrestleMania, he got attacked. I still need to watch that. But he's been on the commentary. Dude is sick on the commentary for WWE. He adds a lot to it. He adds a lot to the show. But I need to see what happened to him. He got attacked on Monday. Pat McAfee was all beat up.
Oh, okay. So evidently this like Russian looking dude, I can't even pronounce his name because I don't really follow wrestling, but
he's probably Gunther then.
Gunther, yeah. So he comes in and evidently he had beef with Michael Cole. and he wanted to fight Michael Cole. Michael Cole's like, whatever, turned his back on. You never turn your back on any wrestler. So when he turned his back, he got him in the sleeper hold. Well, then Pat came over and he started hitting. And after he started hitting, Pat's like, oh shit. I don't know if I'm ready for this effect or not, And then he started walking back because he thought people, broke the fight up. And then he started putting McAfee in a sleeper hold, and like he wouldn't get up. So then yesterday he talked to The Rock on the McAfee show.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, Rock, what the hell? Why did you let your goons get all on me and not help me out?" And he was like, "Well, first of all," he was like, "as soon as you step on that mat, on that announcer table, there's no rules.
All bets are off.
All bets are off. It's entertainment. It's WWE, So he's like, okay, granted. So yeah, that's what happened.
And that is warranted. Honestly, Gunther has a reason to be pissed. Lost his World Heavyweight Championship to Jey Uso on Saturday. That was a pretty solid match. And I'm just glad to see that people actually like Jey Uso as a solo wrestler. He's always been the tag team guy. Been with his brother forever in a tag team. Was with the tribal chief forever. Always been a tag team guy. Always been a side character. Now he's finally getting like a full championship run. Feels good to see. Gunther also just has had the World Heavyweight Championship way too much and for way too long. So I mean, we just want to see somebody else with it. Then we had World Tag Team title match, New Day defending. This was an all right match. Good mix of the power from the War Raiders. I'm glad they're done with that Viking thing, dude. One of them got injured, and they hit the creative books. The War Raiders is a step better, but they're getting there. They're getting there. They're gonna find their true personality because they're pretty good in ring. Those two guys, Eric and Ivar, they're 332 pounds combined, and they move around the ring like no other. There's some big dudes. There's a good mix of power and the technicality from Xavier Woods and the high flying ability from Kofi. That was a pretty solid match there too. Jade Cargill and Naomi. Naomi carried this one, dude. She has been back and better than ever since her return last year. I'm hyped to see her coming back with a good match this year's WrestleMania. The only real thing I've been seeing about this match was, that there was a bunch of malfunctions and that a bunch of things went wrong. But really, from watching it back, like it didn't really seem like there was too many hiccups, or like nothing that they really were able to, pick up. But that one, Jade Cargill comes out with the win there. And the next matchup on our list here, LA Knight, unable to defend his United States Championship, loses it to Jacob Fatu. The Samoan Werewolf took him out. This is pretty cool to see. We're getting a good mix. Like, this is a pretty good heel United States champion. He's going to go on a pretty good run with this belt. Gives some good storyline to the other championships. Makes him feel more important. Now, this next match, I'm just going to go over quick because Chad Gable needs to stop with this. He started wearing a luchador mask and saying his name is El Grande Americano. And it's like a whole meme to say that like it's not Chad Gable. It's just this whole thing. It was a stupid, silly match. Then we had WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton defended against Charlotte Flair. This is a pretty good beef. Good rising star to Tiffany Stratton taking down the veteran Charlotte Flair. And, pretty touted veteran. That's Ric Flair's daughter right there. So that's a pretty big win. Pretty big addition in WrestleMania, your WrestleMania, record. And our main event there in this Saturday was a triple threat match. Seth Rollins came out with the win over CM Punk and Roman Reigns. This storyline took a crazy turn. Paul Heyman is just the most backstabbing dude ever. He nutshotted everybody in the ring, turned on the two guys that he's ever worked with and starts to help Seth Rollins now. And literally nutshotted two guys in the same exact spot of the ring, back to back, to let somebody else win. Dude fooled everybody else. Fooled everybody twice. Now, I mean, what's really going to spin here as the weeks go by is Seth Rollins even going to trust Paul Heyman after all this? Like, yeah, he helped him win the match, but I mean, what's going to go down? It's been pretty crazy. And now we can move on to Sunday. This one, not as many matches here. Cody Rhodes. We'll just skip to the main event here because I honestly don't even want to talk about the Logan Paul match. And the match before it was a tag team match for no titles. And the very next day, the tag team partners turned on each other that won the titles. So the storyline is just going to be completely broken up. So we're just skipping to the main event here so we can get to this playoffs. The ending of this match would have been better if Travis Scott didn't pull up. So let me break this down for you, HG. Let me just explain the story.
Paint the picture for me, K-Man.
We're like 30 minutes into the match, right? Both guys are tired. We've had a lot of false finishes already. The ref has taken some shots. Like, Cody should have won at this point. He hit John Cena with the finisher, but the ref was knocked out, of course, and then he gets a 10 count when there's no ref in the ring, so he doesn't get the win. And they're both on the ground tired. And what randomly starts playing in the stadium, Mercury? You might ask?
Don't tell me.
Fiend starts playing at full blast. And out here comes Travis Scott.
I can just see it now.
And the crowd goes mild. I swear to God.
The crowd goes mild.
Nobody was happy about this. Here he comes strutting down the apron, comes into the ring, and Travis Scott is the guy that breaks up the fight to help John Cena win. I'm all for it. This is an amazing John Cena heel turn. We've never seen it before. For the first time in his entire career, and he's about to retire. They gave us all what we wanted. If it was anyone other than Travis Scott,
a walking human heel, Travis Scott.
Like, man, it's fine because now it paints the picture perfectly. It's going to be John Cena versus Randy Orton, and the roles will be finally swapped after all these years, where John Cena is the heel and Randy Orton is the face of it all. And it'll be the retirement, run for John Cena. I think Randy will take the belt after that, and then we'll move on from there. I think that would be a cool way to end the storyline there. But that was WrestleMania. They're already kicked off the very next day after WrestleMania Sunday. They already have Monday Night Raw and then NXT last night. So, and WWE moves fast. We just covered the entire weekend of WrestleMania pretty fast. Some good matches if you can watch them back. But we'll get back into it. I say let's go to the NHL first, because I'm a little bit more hopeful for the Avs than I am with the Nuggets right now.
And I was thinking we start with the President Cup champions, the Winnipeg Jets, real quick here. Getting up to a 2-0 lead over the St. Louis Blues, who were super hot team down the stretch. Game one, they did a good job defending the power play. Winnipeg was only 1 of 4 to the Blues being 2 of 3, and yet still gave up those 5 goals. Dang. That offense of Winnipeg just too fast-paced, it seemed. And their goalie and their defense, it was just a lot. 5 goals on 25 shots.
Oh, man.
And then another goal coming on empty net. So Jordan Binnington, it's been pretty solid in this series, but gave up the 4 goals in game one, and then they had to go empty net to try to get a chance out to win it here. And the Blues or the Jets made them pay there. Connor Hellebuck, man, he's been pretty great, and just the defense of Winnipeg only giving the Blues 17 shots on goal here. And a lot, they were just sharing the love. It was 5 different guys that scored the goal in that game. Kyle Connor and Mark Sheffield were there with the assists on 2 of them. They just, Winnipeg looks like a really good team. Though. They were flying up and down the ice. They spent a lot of time on St. Louis's side. Really, like St. Louis, when they got their offense going, it's when they had that power play. And
They
somebody
couldn't
in the
score
box.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just couldn't score with it.
So, series is shifting back to St. Louis here soon. They weren't able to steal one on the road. We go over here now to game 2.
They might take one
here on Monday night.
I'd take one at home.
I think they probably can. Like I said, this game, that first game, a little more offensive, just a real defensive battle here. Good old school hockey, man. Just guys flying up and down the court, the ice, hitting each other. And
2-1,
2-1, just a 2-1 dog fight here.
Welcome in, Tracer.
How's it going, Tracer? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we go to look.
You love to see it. Classic hockey, old school hockey. They're hitting each other.
Couple of times, the gloves got dropped a few times. Guys were swinging. It was real. But the intensity was really, really ratcheted up there. Hellebuck again was really good in this one. And then power play opportunities, man. Been the story of this. Neither team really good on the power play on this one. Only 1 power play goal despite 4 opportunities for St. Louis. Something they're going to have to be better with. But again, even when the Jets are down in that power play, it's the speed of that team on the ice, man, and like that defense is just so good. They just cut off those lanes, passing and shooting lanes so quickly. 14 blocked shots for Winnipeg that night. And then you want to go look at the Binnington again. Neither team getting a ton of shots on goal, 22 actually for each team. And Binnington did, obviously gives up the 2 in this one. Kyle Connor didn't get the goal in the last game, so he comes in this one and gets a goal for them. And then Sheffield, a goal and an assist in this one. Those 2 really been the standing out and leading the charge so far in this series for Winnipeg.
Yeah, Connor was their guy scoring all season. I think he had like 41 goals. It was pretty solid for him.
Yeah, he's obviously been really good. Are we looking over here on St. Louis? I think guys like Fasca, Neighbors, they've just been a little quiet. Looking to see them maybe come to life now that the series is shifting back to St. Louis. But let's get in here. Let's talk about the Avs, man.
Dominant game 1.
They stole one in dominant fashion in game 1, man.
5-1. McKinnon 2 goals. Let me check how many. 24 shots for Dallas and 23 saves for Mackenzie Blackwood. That's pretty solid performance right there.
Blackwood's been really good in here. This has been a very high flying offensive series where both teams, it's not even like the defense has really been bad, but it's just there are just some star playmakers on both sides. And I mean, you see it, it's just back and forth, up and down the ice, all over the place here. Power play opportunity, 7 power play opportunities and only 2 goals, 1 for each team coming out of that. Pretty even on, your shot counts there. Avs did get 12 more hits there, but 22 blocked shots there for Dallas. So, I mean, it's a mix of you see stretches of great offense and then great defense in this one. Logan O'Connor goal from game 2. Was that, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the one for, that was the game, was that the game winner in overtime? The Avs, I think, should be up 2-0 in this series. They really let one get away.
Honestly, yeah. That game 2, I feel like we should be up 2-0 here easily. That just going into overtime.
O'Connor's,
that one is just.
He's on the Avs. I don't know what I'm talking about. 2 assists from him in that game. McKinnon got those 2 goals, and this one. Blackwood, he was great. Obviously, 24 shots on goal, and he didn't let anything up. But then we go over to game 2, and this is where
it got rough.
Yeah.
4-3 overtime win for Dallas. I think Blackwell had the game winner. Harley also.
Offense
the defenseman got a goal.
It just fell
game.
off.
Come on. And it was like pretty much 40 shots per team here. This is, offensive series for sure. Holy crap.
I don't know what happened, though, after that second intermission. Their offense just fell off there.
Yeah, scoreless for the last 2 periods. That's really let him back in the game.
And this goalie, though, for the Stars, he made some incredible saves. Just like early on, he was under fire. And really, it'd be impressive. It was only 3 goals that he gave up here. Guy was just under siege most of that game, and I was like rolling my eyes. I'm like, this guy, he blocked another shot.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
Yeah, he was really looking like a wall in this game too, compared.
Dude, 37 shots on goal, and he saved 34. Couldn't remember exactly how many it was. Under siege. And then Blackwood, man, give him credit. He was really good for a lot of this game too. I mean, 39 shots on goal, and only 4 went in there. McKinnon, he was really good early on. Got 4 shots, only got 1 to go in. I think Cale Makar hasn't really made a huge impact, I think, so far. He's been solid
Not
defense.
quite.
I just don't think he's been he hasn't been helping create a lot for the front court,
offense,
the
you're right.
forwards.
He's been there defensively. Offensively, I think with the amount of offense that's happening, I think he's sure to find a groove here, and they'll find a good spot for him.
All in all, though, I think their offense kind of fell off there in the third intermission and overtime. And even then, they still got some real high quality shots on goal. But that goalie, Ottinger, man, just unreal. I think you got to feel really confident, though, if you're Colorado. You got the series shifting back to LA, or back to Colorado, rather.
Oh, that goal is crazy, actually. He's going backwards like this and just goes right between his legs.
It was that one.
He's sliding in and he falls right as he gets it. Let me add that into the studio.
Okay, man, we'll get that fired up. Yeah, there's been some pretty incredible games so far. Shifting over to Vegas and Minnesota. The Golden Knights took care of business in game 2 with a 4-2 win. Looked like, like what you'd expect. I thought Vegas, much better team than the Golden Knights. Be like, all right, they should handle them pretty well here. And they did in game 1, at least. 54 hits for Minnesota, though, which was where you're like, that might pose some problems. To just 29 for Vegas. Despite that, though, they still looked a lot better offensively. Matt Boldy was really the most of the offense here for Minnesota. Joel Eriksson was just hucking shots at the net. Nothing was working there. But Aiden Hill only had to defend 20 shots, still let 2 go in, and you're like, but you get a 4-2 victory, you think, all right, we can feel pretty good about the Golden Knights, right? Well, game got away from them last night, 5-2, kind of a trouncing really in their own building, and it was they had a first period that just really, there was like a stretch of 5-6 minutes where it just snowballed out of control. You saw 3 goals in there. The Wild were just taking the puck up and down the ice. and just assaulting that goalie. Yeah, he looked a little shell shocked with all that coming at him. Boldy added another goal, and then Crilly. I always mess. Crilly, we'll just go with that. Was their top assister last game. He gets himself 2 goals and another assist here as well. Marcus Foligno was fantastic in this one as well. And then you look at some of these blocked shots from the floor, like Brock Faber, Jake Middleton, Jared Spurgeon, really great on defense there. The Knights,
this is a scary game to lose for them right here.
Really,
because the Wild, you don't want to sleep on the Wild, dude. They're tough.
Really makes you kind of nervous.
17 shots, 5
going
goals.
Back to Minnesota, man.
Come on now.
He'll only less shots on goal here with only 16, and he gave up 4. That's a pretty bad save percentage.
Yeah,
all things considered, and just a real lack of offense anywhere of consistent offense really for Vegas. They got really rattled after that run in the first quarter, and they were never really able to get their confidence back. We'll see if they can rally, and I think it'll be pretty important for them to steal one on the road in Minnesota. Otherwise, I think they might be in some trouble, and we could be looking at one of our first major upsets here.
Big upset if they lose this one
of the playoffs. But going over to the Kings and Edmonton, only one game so far in this series, and the Oilers, I honestly thought that they had a chance. I thought they were going to take this one, game 1, but the Kings really held on and were able to survive a huge third period. Edmonton's going into that down 4-1. They scored 4 goals in the third. They were just cooking, but the Kings were able to hold on, add actually 2 goals of their own, and they got out of here with a very down to the wire win. Another series where, again, I don't think that we're seeing bad defense getting played, but these teams just got some crazy speed and scoring potential on offense. Now you're all probably wondering, how'd Connor McDavid do? 1 goal, 3 assists as well. Even throwing a blocked shot for him there as well. Some of the other guys, Janmark adding a goal, Corey Perry, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, all getting goals for Edmonton. Over here on the Kings, though, Philip Daniel, 2 goals. Adrian Kemp, 1 goal, 2 assists. Andrei Kuzmenko, 1 goal, 2 assists. He was getting a lot of good looks there. He took 5 shots on goal there. Yeah, these I feel for Stuart Skinner and Darcy Kempor. Man, these guys, just like Ottinger and Blackwood in that Avs Stars series, these goalies are going to be in for a long series. These be some high scoring games here by NHL standards. All right, we're going to shift on over here to the East. A lot of good action over here as well. The Devils, team that we were really pulling for our boy Frank the Tank.
They're down 2-0, man.
Yeah, it ain't looking too great here.
4-1 loss and 3-1 loss. Yesterday, when I was watching this game, it was actually the start of one of the fights in the second game. It was already 2-1. It was pretty late in the second period, so it was kind of already really out of hand. It was really just, man, Carolina's in their head. They got a lot to work on.
The Devils seem frustrated a lot.
And they're a pretty young team too.
I think you're also this year, you're seeing some inexperience, lack of composure there for the Devils. Your series is shifting back to New Jersey. Maybe they got a chance to tighten it up, but it's really looking like I think we initially said Devils in 6. I'm kind of leaning towards Hurricanes in 5. I think Jersey. I think they'll get one at home. They're playing with a lot of passion. Now I'll give them that. A lot of passion out there, but it's not really leading to a whole lot of success. So passion will only take you so far.
Yeah, it'll only help you out so much.
Yeah. Just thing that killed Jersey in the first game, not capitalizing on the power play at all. And I think that really frustrated them, where they thought they had some good opportunities on the power play that they just squandered away. And I mean, they put a lot of shots on Frederick Anderson, man, but he held up. 24 shots on, only 1 goal allowed. Chatfield, Brett Burns, Orlov, Walker, some of those guys making some great plays. Slavin, some great plays on defense for Carolina. Logan Stakhovin, 2 goals in this game to lead his Hurricanes in scoring. Got a little help out from Shrevelinkov as well. Man, these Eastern European names trip me up sometimes.
They're so hard to read.
Even like I'd be hearing them pronounced too, and then I gotta go back and read them, and I'd be starting to second guess myself. Yeah, Nico Hischler only won the score for the Devils in that first game. Over on the game 2, more of the same story, where I feel like Jersey, they just were missing on some good opportunities. Maybe the nerves getting the best of them or something.
Yeah.
This Hurricanes team, a little bit more veteran presence. Obviously, they were in the playoffs last year. Really good in this one. This game, defense was just all over everything. 6 power play opportunities in total between both teams. 0 goals on the power play. And then this one, it was Bratt. This time they got the lone goal for the Devils. And then Ranucci, Seth Jarvis stepping up to get some goals here for the Canes. And a defenseman getting the goal here as well. Gotson here. He had 2 shots on goal, man. 2 blocked shots as well. That guy was all over the court. Anderson, another great game where had like 26 shots on goal, only giving up 1 there. Really looking like we're going to see Carolina in 5. I said game 4, the Devils probably get one, then the series goes back to Carolina and they take care of business there. Maple Leafs Senators though. Let's go hop over there, see what's going on there. Maple Leafs looking real good. We're like one of those top teams in the East here.
Up 2-0 right
I'll say the Senators, man, play them close though in game 2. Game 1, won't really spend too much time on. 6-2. The Maple Leafs just kind of ran away with this one. It was 2-2-2 across all periods. So they were just consistent in every period, flying down the ice. And 6 goals, and for it to be a different person to score each goal, super impressive as well. Matthews and Marner with some dimes, 2 assists for both of those guys. Mitch Marner also getting a goal for himself. And Stolars, man, he actually had to withstand a lot of shots on goal though. 33.
Really
like Ottawa was getting a lot of good opportunities, good looks. They just weren't really able
get them. Yeah, they couldn't
able to convert. Because then on the other side, a good chunk of this was spent with the Maple Leafs on the defensive. But Olmark just struggled. 24 shots, 6 goals given up there. It's tough, man. Everyone has some bad games. But game 2, the Senators took them
around.
Took them to overtime. It looked like the Maple Leafs might be running away with it again. They got up to an early 2-0 lead. And the Senators came storming back there late in the game, scoring 2 goals, tying it up, forcing it into overtime.
They just couldn't hold off the offensive Maple Leafs for long enough. They clawed back into the game. That's good defense holding them scoreless 2 periods like that, going into the other one seeds crowd. So good game from them, honestly, here, but they just couldn't close it out.
Wouldn't be shocked if maybe they'll get at least 1, maybe 2 at home. So the series, I think I still got the Leafs in 6, but the Senators going to give them some problems for sure. And then last night, the defending Cup champs, the Florida Panthers, weren't able to take down the Tampa Bay Lightning, or were able to take down the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-2 on Tampa's home ice, which this is the Battle of Florida. So, but to Chuck with a really good game here. And the Panthers were hyper efficient on the power play, 3 for 3 there, 18 blocked shots. They took good care of the puck, not a ton of giveaways. Not a whole lot of penalty minutes in this one. Panthers were dominating on the faceoff as well. Just a clinic that they put on here, looking to potentially repeat. Obviously, they're those defending champs, and they got a lot of that same team here. Lightning kind of feel like pretty disappointed with just how they showed up in this one. Not a lot of energy or fight out of them.
As a 2 seed as well, I feel like they would.
They just got down by a lot and kind of looked like defeated early. So I don't know. That doesn't bode too well for the rest of the series. Sometimes you have an off day, off series. Maybe you can chalk it up to that, but doesn't fill me with a ton of confidence here. Sam Reinhart, he also had a pretty sick pass where he went like between the legs, and it ended up this wasn't a pass. He was trying to pass it and it just went off of the skate of a Tampa defender and right past their goalie's head. Sergei Bobrovsky, still one of the best goalies in the league, locking it down there for the Panthers. And this Andrei Vasilevskiy, only 16 shots on goal, man. He gave up 6 goals. Like I said, it was just a real rough looking game here for Tampa.
Coming in at the higher seed too.
All right. Yeah, the Panthers, I think they might honestly sweep them if Tampa Bay doesn't come out swinging tomorrow night. And
yeah, they've got to hope.
Like I don't know, man. If this series is going back to Miami with the Panthers up 2-0, sweep. But Tampa just did not look like a very energized or motivated team.
Not at all.
For whatever reason. Then we ended off with our final NHL matchup of the
Capitals
round 1. And this is only one game in. Capitals with a thriller over the Canadiens. Alexander Ovechkin with the overtime goal. Avi just having a great season. It just continues, man.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Incredible.
Broke the record. I'm pretty sure they're still adding these goals to it, right? Or is it
I think that one's just the regular season. But he got a few more after that. 2 goals in this game for Ovechkin.
Wow.
The Washington goalie, 33 shots on goal, or 35 shots on goal, 33 saves from this guy.
Wow.
Matt Roy with 4 blocked shots of his own. That defense for the Capitals was really good there. I got to give the Canadiens some credit, though. Their goalie, he held up pretty well as well. About 32 shots on goal in him. He had 29 saves there.
Yeah, he
a lot of
locked it down.
like
there
a lot of
for
these,
period.
a lot of offense just going up and down. And the Canadians played the Capitals really tightly through this one.
Whole time, really.
Yeah, this definitely gonna be a tough series for Washington. Probably going to 6. I could see it going to 7. Montreal just showed a lot of fight and a lot of heart, a lot of spirit. And they just got a good ability to get up and down the ice, and not let Washington have a free skater towards their own goalie. Their defense gets back, and they're good in transition. This could be a tough battle for the 1-seeded Capitals here for sure.
This is a tough one. But they keep letting Ovi score these overtime goals, though. They're not going to be in the series much longer here.
Dude.
They got to find any way to get it away from him. Get the puck as far away from him as possible.
Oh my God, he's just
Put
so
it in someone
fantastic.
else's hands.
2 goals and assists. Took 4 shots on the goal in total. Yeah, I mean, you want to try to keep it away from him, but it's gonna find his way to him, man. It's gonna find his way to him. Well, that's gonna wrap up our NHL Round 1 coverage. Stay tuned. We're gonna head to another quick music break. When we come back, we got NBA playoffs Round 1. A lot of craziness, a lot of fun so far. Yeah, we've got. Let's see, we got at least 3 series tied 1-1 right now. The potential for more. We've got a couple of 1-0 series that are going later tonight. Don't go anywhere, though, folks. You're listening to Till the Final Whistle here on Military Broadcast Radio. We'll be right back after this short break.
Souls cast a shadow when they leave.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle. HG and Caveman back in the house. Joel on sound. And real quickly, let me try to get this clip in here. It said the file is too big. You guys got to see this goal. You guys got to see this goal before we get into the NBA playoffs. We're going to try and rush through or, take our time, but also try and get through it. We want to do a mock draft today. We want to hopefully be able to do a mock draft.
I'm going to keep it real with you, Caveman. I don't know if that's happening,
I don't
bro.
think that's happening today, though.
We'll give you our draft recap for sure.
Definitely. It is going to be.
While you're waiting for that clip, though, I'll tell you some of the rumors and shakings I've been heard with the draft. We might be seeing tons of trades. Nobody's really sure what quarterbacks people like. There's a lot of, I think, like guys like Tyler Shuck, their draft stock is jumping up. Jackson Dart, Jalen Milrose draft stocks all jumping up. Like I'm seeing all those guys could potentially be first rounds. I'm seeing Shador could drop all the way back. I'm hearing rumors that the Broncos might try to trade up for Genty or Travis Hunter, which would be absolutely insane. The Jaguars might try to trade up with the Giants or the Browns. Those teams are apparently taking phone calls. The Patriots, I'm seeing that they might take Genty at the very least. I'll tell you what, just be prepared for chaos. I think this might be some of the most moves we've seen here in the draft. Either the media is just getting the NFL media is just getting a little full of itself and putting too much hype into this draft. Expect either pandemonium or for it to be a pretty standard draft with not a lot of movement. Or a boring draft just with not a lot of movement, not a lot of teams actually trading. At least in the first round, I do think a lot of people are happy with where they're at, except for maybe the Vikings and the Falcons. Those are the two teams I see trading back and not trying to trade up because Vikings only have 4 picks. Falcons only got 5 picks, so they don't have a ton of capital. They might be trying to get some more draft picks later on. But that's a lot of rumblings around the draft. I do think it's going to be crazy, but just be prepared for it also to be smoke and mirrors.
Oh, that's very true. Very true.
Teams trying not to show their hand.
The rumors are a good thing for some teams, But let's take a look at this Logan O'Connor goal from Game 2. Here we go.
Instead, McKinnon emerges. The outlet to Gerard. Gerard across the line. Lehkonen chips it out in front. Score! What a shot by O'Connor!
Skating backwards, pretty much falling as he's going back towards the goal and just takes a chance between the legs. Went through him and the goalie's legs right there, pretty much. That's an insane shot. It was late in the second period, too, to tie it up. That's so hype. That is such a good play.
Yes. That was an insane goal. All right, Caveman. These NBA playoffs, where do we even start?
Honestly, I want to rip the Band-Aid off, dude. I got freaking Clippers in 5, dude.
Where 6. Clippers in 6.
Like there's honestly no stopping them from winning the next 2 games. And with all that momentum coming back into Denver, Kawhi has another night like he did in Game 2.
That's what's giving me a little hope. Is I don't know what came over Kawhi Leonard in Game 2. He just could not miss. But let's start on Game 1. The Nuggets eke out a 2-point win in overtime.
Clippers choked it. That's why I think they're going to win it all because they should have won this game right here.
They had 20 turnovers, at least a ton of points generated off the turnovers. I'll plug this crappy ass laptop back in. Yeah, 29 points generated up off of these turnovers here. Kawhi with a lot, 7 for him here. But that Harden and Zubac's pick and roll action
Was
looked
going
really good.
crazy.
Zubac's
dude.
double, Harden double. He scored 32. Zubac been defending Jokic really well. Like I think like Jokic, he's had a triple double in both games where he
No historic first halves against
actually
Zubac in
just
this
I
series.
forgot they took a rebound away from him in this one. So he just missed the triple double in this one. And like for other guys, 29, 9, 12, 3 and 1, really good numbers. But for how close of a game this was, like that just feels like Jokic was kind of average.
That's limiting him
For
pretty
him.
much. That's limiting him pretty well. 12 for 24 shooting. He was 1 for
Yeah.
4 from 3, so he
Like,
couldn't really.
Numbers
find
like
a
this
shot.
might get it done against the Jazz, but this is a good Clippers team.
Yeah, dude.
And
Ty Lue's a good coach. That's really put it together this season.
if they
Came out of
protect the
nowhere.
ball, because that's where they're struggling in transition defense. So transition defense is rough. But if they're able to make the Nuggets come down and play them in the half court, they look a lot better.
And whatever got into Nick Batum in this game too, like that guy just did not want to miss clutch 3-point shots. It didn't matter if he had somebody draped over top of him covering him or not. Dude was making everything.
Right. This is a peak Russell Westbrook game. Terrible shooting numbers, but he had, a ton of rebounds with 8 and crucial moments. A couple of big time defensive steals, like dribbled out the clock to end regulation. That was goofy.
He is like the Mario Kart item box. That is the most accurate representation of what the Russell Westbrook experience
you just
is.
don't know what you're gonna get.
But it's the greatest thing ever. Like you never want to miss the Mario Kart item box when you're driving past it. You don't want to miss out on the item, even if it's something bad. Like he pretty much played so insane, he almost lost the Nuggets the game, and pretty much won the Nuggets the game at the same exact time.
That
With
was
how crazy he was playing. He plays like a madman.
the roller coaster of emotion. MPJ was silent in game 1. Then we go over to game 2. Pretty much better game for MPJ. With his, he had a 15 and 15 stat line, 15 points, 15 rebounds, was huge there. Jokic with a triple double, 26, 12 and 10. But they just could not stop Kawhi Leonard. Like, I don't know what possessed this man. Like a lot of these shots, he was so lethal in that mid range. A lot of his shots too, like 3 of his 4 misses, first of all, came from beyond the arc, and he was still 4-7 from 3.
Yeah, that's still efficient.
It wasn't like we were just forgetting about him and he was getting wide open. Like he was taking a lot of these like fadeaway jumpers with a defender.
Tough shots.
Just draped all over him. I felt like they didn't go to a lot of that pick and roll action with Zubac and Harden. And we got on a run when there were some early turnover problems, but the Clippers tightened up. And it just became scoring just became much harder to do. One of these teams, I think, is gotta get it going from 3, like unlock something from 3. I think it's the Nuggets more so.
They
need to find some way to just to be more knocked down from 3.
Like this game's a start, 43% is good.
But neither team takes a ton of threes, and I think we might be able to find an advantage if we can get going on the perimeter. It'll just open some stuff inside for Murray and Jokic in that 2-man game. But Zubac he's been a presence there. And like some other guys like Derek Jones Jr., Ben Simmons, Batum, like they're just big and tall enough to like, stall Jokic just long enough for help to get over there. And they're rotating really well when he makes that extra pass. So, yeah, with the Denver, there's just a lot of like, and the Clippers, I just see a lot of, things that they just have to do that they were already doing at a decent level. They just have to do that a little bit better, just have to do it well. And they might start running away with this one. It really pains me to say this, but the Clippers look like a better, more complete team. We're just so thin. Like Jokic and Murray have already played over 40 minutes in both of these games. Aaron Gordon was at 43 minutes in the last game. There's just not a whole lot. The depth, we just don't have the depth that the Clippers do as well. So I don't want to be, I mean, I do still believe that there's a shot for us to win this, but that's the fan in me. If I had to look at it from an objective point of view, you'd probably say Clippers in 6. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they really let one go against us in that first game, and them going stealing one at home and taking the home court advantage. That one hurts.
That really does hurt.
The way they're playing too, man. Like Harden, that first game, we don't want too many more 32-point games from him if we want to get out of it.
That's what's also scary is they still won one, and we didn't have a game where Kawhi or Harden were where they were both playing really well on offense. Like when that first game, Harden was playing good. Kawhi had a lot of turnover problems, didn't shoot the best, and then that other game, Harden was having a tough time getting to his spot. But if those two start getting into that ISO game and then that Zubox pick and roll, we just don't have any good way to defend that when it's on.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So on to our first sweep of the series. I know it's only a 2-0 lead for the Thunder, but they are just railroading the Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah,
Bro,
that one's over.
Jaren Jackson, you're 7 feet tall and you're only going to get 3 rebounds, bro. Yeah. Are you serious?
That was a tough game. And OKC comes out with that energy in this one too. And the whole time they're whooping them. And they got the starters out for the entire game pretty much. Oh. They were using every rotation they had. They were really showing everyone their hand. All our guys are healthy. Dude, we're coming for you guys this year. They look scary in this series.
Yeah, the Grizzlies I just don't think are as good as the record might indicate. There's a lot of, I think, internal issues there, i.e. the coach getting fired before the playoffs, what have you. But man, the Thunder look almost unbeatable. The defensive numbers, they had 12 steals and 8 blocks as a team, dude. Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, man.
That's horrifying thing right here is look at Shea's numbers shooting. Look at his scoring efficiency. And look at everybody else.
Right. He had such a bad game.
He was like 1 for 8 going into halftime.
He finished 4 of 13, 1 of 7 from 3. Only got to the line 7 times, man. He played bad. Like he was bad in this game, and they won by 51 points.
It's terrifying.
That's not something you want to see if you're an average NBA fan.
It was like
their whole starting lineup scored at least 12 points. Aaron Wiggins did 21 off the bench. Peyton Pritchard deservingly, I think he was very deserved, won 6th man of the year, but like Aaron Wiggins is solid, dude. Man, he gotta be a close second, dude. He is something else off the bench there. He played more minutes than Shea, dude.
Most of the year they did have their 6th man as Isaiah Joe. So he didn't really get the full season of it. I feel like he had to mix. He had those rotational spots switched up a lot.
Game 2, the Grizzlies actually kind of looked like they were getting close to closing the gap. They were down only like 6 or 7 points, and then they just choked momentously in the 4th quarter and fell apart. They couldn't, all of a sudden they couldn't read the blitz to save their life or make the right decision to get out of it. They're just chucking up bricks, giving some easy transition opportunities, and then just like getting lost on defense and leaving some guys butt booty naked, either from beyond the arc or with like just the easiest slash to the basket you'll ever see. It's like you pave the whole highway for that guy to take it to the hoop.
The turnover issues for the Grizzlies were just terrible.
Yeah.
The whole, like, it was close early in the game, right? Like it was like 6-8 before it really got out of hand. And then got a possession. Desmond Bain, Zach Edey running pick and roll. Desmond Bain pump fakes the 3, and Edie thinks he shot it, so he's ready to get this board, and crash the glass. As he's running, Bane kind of pump fakes and passes out of the shot right off Zach Edie's forehead. Turnover. It's Thunderball, and then that really sparked an insane run from then on, and that kind of sealed it. That bounce off Edie's forehead kind of really ended the game.
55 rebounds for the Thunder, man. They just dominated the glass. And that's on the 7-footer like Edie. Like, bro, you're tall. Like, you are not really a great scorer. Kind of slow as a defender, man. You should be at least getting like 12, 15 boards a game. But it ain't happening. That big combination of Holmgren and Hardenstein is just too much.
He's too young as a rookie, and that's too many.
He's way too raw.
Jalen Williams off the bench. Don't forget they have plenty of bigs on this team. They have plenty of guys.
Chet was deleting shit at the rim too, man. 5 blocks in this one. Yeah, and Shea, honestly, again, pretty porous shooting numbers from him, dude. 10 of 29, 3 of 10 from 12. Still scored 27 to lead this team.
I think he blocked Edie too. He got 2 blocks this game.
He had 2 steals this game, but I think they were both on Edie. Yeah, Edie's just kind of a walking turnover machine. I mean, they only really credited him with 1. Morant was pretty bad in this one. Scored 23, but 10 of 25. Desmond Bane, Scottie Pippen Jr., all pretty atrocious efficiency-wise. Santi Aldama, same thing. Jaren Jackson was the only one that was like semi-decent proficiently-wise. But yeah, he just is getting cooked inside by Holmgren, man. Like, he should be covered. Like, that's the guy you should be defending. It's just like Chet, when he gets operating, it just doesn't seem like he has any problem. Like, this is the second largest point differential between the first 2 games of a playoff series in NBA history, with a plus 70. And I don't even think the Thunder have played necessarily their best basketball.
No, not really at all.
Hey, man,
nights where some guys just can't get.
My Nugs might be getting knocked out, but I guess it'll save us from having to play OKC. Clippers.
Yeah, that's tough.
Good luck. Just say that, man.
That's tough.
I don't know if I see anybody in the West realistically that can beat OKC.
Gotta have faith, man. Remember that time when we was down by 6 and we made it to the World Championship in 7?
Nuggets are out of this series.
Oh, they already lost?
They're gonna be. It's tied right now. It's 1-1.
It's tied.
When we went to the finals, we were never down going into a game.
When was it that we were down but we made it to the playoffs? What year was that then?
I mean, I don't know if there is any year where we necessarily weren't in the playoff race, at least in recent history.
Okay. I think it was against the Lakers. We were down by a bunch, and then we came back. And
I mean, that's just one game, but
it could have been in the bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, on the bubble, we went down 3-1 twice and came back to win the series.
Yeah, it could have been in the bubble. Go into the West.
I'm trying to give you sunshine.
It was against the Jazz.
I got sunshine.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to give you sunshine, HG. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to.
I appreciate you trying to keep a positive note.
There's a chance.
It's going to be a tough series.
There's a chance.
Well, here's the thing. Even if we beat the Clippers, which I think we still could, we're gonna have to play the Thunder next round.
Next round,
there's just and that team's they're just too deep, and we're just too thin.
Even last year, we were coming off a heater from winning the championship, and we lost some playoff games by 40+ points too. There was some games in that Minnesota series in the second round last year where we lost by 45 and looked ugly and sloppy, and didn't look like the defending champs whatsoever in some of those games.
And the fan in me just wants to be blindly optimistic, and I am as a fan, I'm blindly optimistic, and I can delude myself into thinking we're winning. But I got to try to keep it objective and more fact based, and we do not. Just don't look good for us on paper. Didn't look good for the Lakers on paper in game one as the Timberwolves
good to see,
go and steal one on the road.
Real in this freaking series.
They shot 50% from three in this game. Minnesota did.
They were all on a tear. Seriously. Nobody could miss at all.
Luka got absolutely no help, not even from LeBron in this one, bro. LeBron wasn't even that good in this game here.
8 for 18. Yeah, he didn't have a very good offensive
performance.
Yeah,
I mean, Minnesota just did everything better. They were playmaking way better, controlling the boards way better. They shot better from the field, from three, from the line. Not from the line, actually, but about the same.
They were really clicking in this one.
They had a 27-point lead at one point. They did rack up 21 fouls. That was about the only negative thing you could really point to there. But they just played a really complete game. Lakers, like I said, it's just besides Luka, who dropped 37 on 5 of 10 from 3, 12 of 22 from the field. Rest of the team ain't looking too good. LeBron got some stuff. Had some good numbers defensively, 3 blocks, 2 steals, only 19 points from him. Dude, Jackson Hayes, I mean, they had Dorian Finney-Smith out there running the 5 for a chunk of that, dude.
He's a great role player, but not a center role player. He can't be at your 5.
I think Chris Finch might listen to Till the Final Whistle. I think he might have took my advice about playing Naz Reid for more than Rudy Gobert, because Reid, with 31 minutes in this game, he cooked, man. He hit 6 threes, can play the 5 for you, but be like that positionless 5 that's all over the court. Ant with 22, Jaden McDaniels 25. Yeah, Minnesota was they got up a lot, and they just were on cruise control. They just dominated them in the second half, outscoring them 38 to 20. And the Lakers, try as they might, were never really able to claw their way back in this one for a pretty dominant 117-95 win.
Game 2, though, man, tells a completely
they got their
story,
stuff together here.
Because Jaden McDaniels went from 11 for 13 from the field in game 1 to 3 for 11.
I'm just going to point out,
not look great off.
Rudy Gobert played 29 minutes. Naz Reid only played 21, and they lost this game.
Rudy, got 6 boards. Rudy Gobert
pretty bad on offense. I'm not getting it looked was not very pretty.
It was ugly. Connolly couldn't hit anything. Jaden McDaniels couldn't hit anything, and it was really Julius Randle early was all they had until Anthony Edwards started.
Right. How do you go from going 21 to 42 the game before, and then you're 5 of 25 from 3, shooting 38% from the field? Just a massive drop off. They got to the line a whole lot more, but 25 attempts.
I think DiVincenzo went down with something early. Only 16 minutes in this one. He's big for them as a shooter.
Right.
Well, that's someone they need.
Rui Hachimura, he broke his nose. He took a shot to the face. He was playing with a mask for a good chunk of that game.
Every mid range. After that, I didn't know who he thought he was.
Bro, he was feeling some type of way after putting the mask on, man.
Felt like masked Braun out there.
Right. LeBron, a lot better from him there. 21 points, 11 rebounds. Luka still popping off 31, 12, and 9. Austin Reeves adding 16 there.
He was really annoying.
It was just the defense was a lot better. The Lakers looked a lot more in sync and synergized. Again, Finney-Smith, dude, playing, not starting, but playing 39 off the bench.
He's such a good role player, man. He fits the spot.
I mean, and it's like him and Braun are kind of switching between who's playing the 5, who's playing center there. I think
Hayes got freaking killed by Anthony
dude,
Edwards.
He's just been.
You might as well put LeBron down there.
He's just been terrible in this matchup so far. I really think
he only got 9 minutes.
Even with Finney-Smith out there, I think Nas Reed playing more minutes is gonna just
That's key. Yeah, that's key.
Is gonna just be a big mismatch that I don't think the Lakers are gonna be able.
They're not ready for it
to defend. At like the resources they might have to expend to defend Nas Reed is just going to open up the offense.
It's too much. And it seems
for
like
the
the
rest of the
Lakers'
guys.
rotation is thin right now.
It really is. It's not a very heavy rotation.
They've played. Austin Reeves had 43 minutes in the second.
I kind of think Minnesota takes this in 6, maybe 7. I think Minnesota in 7. You got two exceptional players like LeBron and Luke out there, but the rest of these guys, it's just so hit or miss on like who's going to play well. I swear.
Yeah, they've lost series like this before.
Rockets pretty rough showing game 1. This is kind of what I figured it was going to be a defensive series, and the team that's going to be able to generate better offense, just the Warriors, man.
Yeah, we're finding out the Rockets have no half-court offense.
And
once you take away the fast break, once you take away these guys'
athletic
ability and their dunking ability, they couldn't find anything to work.
Yeah, they don't man. They just don't really have a great point guard in terms of facilitating. Van Fleet, I thought he's always been pretty average at running the offense, and he just. So they don't really have a better option to go to for somebody else. Curry and Jimmy Butler cooked in this one, 31 and 25 for those two. Draymond playing center out there, it's working. Even against a fairly tall Rockets team, they got some decent size out there. I mean, Sengun's not the tallest center, but their wings are a lot taller and bigger, but it just doesn't really. It's not really making a difference. They're not able to exploit those matchups. And the Warriors have just gotten so used to playing kind of smaller here that it's
kind of working out in their favor.
Unless you're elite offensively with, through your bigs, it's just not going to, they're going to be able to defend you well.
Sengun's been going.
Right. They have to match up against OKC. That could be a problem. They'll projecting it to be a Timberwolves matchup in the next round. Ooh, that could be a problem.
Tougher matchup. Yeah. This one right here, it kind of favors them, and the Rockets are so young that
it's a young team versus a lot of two guys that have been playing enough. A lot of guys this Warriors team's got, even with some of the younger guys, they've seen playoff experience. Van Fleet, man, Brooks, they got a little playoff experience. Uncle Jeff there. Steven Adams, who doesn't play a lot. It's just it's age and experience versus youth and athleticism, and it's that experience is really playing a bigger factor here.
It's tough right here. Their whole offense just seemed like Jalen Green was trying to get switched on to Steph Curry, and they got that matchup multiple times. Still nothing. They really couldn't get it going.
Kind of have to speed run the East here. Game 1, the Bucks and the Pacers. Giannis, 36 points. No help, man. Rest of his team, just buns. Next closest guy was AJ Green off the bench with 15. Torian Prince didn't have any confidence to shoot. Kevin Porter was all right off the bench. Bucks just looking like they are very Giannis dependent. And Tyrese Halliburton, not a great game shooting from him, but his playmaking, just creating a lot for others. Siakam with 25, Turner with 19, Nembhard with 17. A lot of those points coming off the 12 assists that Tyrese Halliburton had.
I just want the Pacers to be able to play a fully healthy team. You know what I mean? In the playoffs. Because I get Dayton was back in game 2 here, but it was last year. They went through the Eastern Conference just playing a bunch of injured teams and getting super lucky.
Same with the Celtics, though.
Series.
I don't think the Knicks were the Knicks really that hurt though.
Yeah, they kind of really only had Brunson kept going in and out of that series.
That's true. Yeah,
I want to see which one of you wins Who do you think is going to win the whole thing? I'd like to take a sound clip.
Honestly, based off of every game I've seen, give me OKC. They look like they're the most ready to go in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't want to say I want to throw in like a crazy one, but after the first, everyone's played 1 or 2 games. Like
if you asked me like a week ago, I probably would have said Cleveland.
I'd say Nuggets.
All right, well, that's awfully optimistic.
That's optimistic. I like it. I like it, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dude, I don't think Dame coming back made a huge difference in game 2. Bobby Portis and Giannis really did most of the scoring. 34, 18 boards for Giannis. Portis 28 and 12. Dame was 2 of 8 from 3, 4 of 13 from the field. He missed a good amount of time, so he's got to kind of get his rhythm back. Series is going back to Milwaukee. The Pacers starting 5, and they just have some great depth as well, but they're starting 5 all scored 15 or more points, which, I mean, you're hard pressed to stop that when they're on like that. Another 12 assist game from Halliburton. I think he was much better shooting, a little more efficient. And Hallie, if he didn't just get a little more consistent with his scoring and his shooting, he is an elite playmaker. Behind Jokic, might be the best in the league. I mean, Trae Young's up there, but
he's got it down, dude. And the chemistry on that team, like they really allow him just to run the offense.
Because like he can be off scoring and still be facilitating at such a high level, and it makes him hard to stop. Okay, real quickly on the Celtics and Magic, Paolo kind of on a. Also, just in a similar situation.
No help.
By himself. He doesn't really, he has to play like the point forward, He doesn't get to be like that, run and cut to the basket, that lob threat, that ISO type of hooper. It's with all the guards that they have there, it's tough. But the Celtics.
They're just so big too, man.
Yeah. And like their whole effing court can just
everybody
light you up from 3.
Everybody can shoot.
They're so good defensively, and it's like it makes them nearly impossible to like defend in transition. And they're so good at creating transition opportunities. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to let Tatum or Brown get an easy, like a one-on-one matchup to the basket? They're making that most of the time. You go to contest, they're good enough playmakers. They're just kick it out to the corner. The Holiday, Derek White. And they're going to probably bury you through. Yeah, Paolo, my beautiful prince, 36 and 11. It was all on him. Franz had a decent game, man, but he was 10 and 24. Neither of them were super. It was just like Franz and Paolo had to just jack up shots. The only 2 guys to score over 10. Next closest dude, Jonathan Isaac, was 7. Like
7 points.
Yeah, beating the Celtics that way.
No.
Tatum wasn't even really that good. He was 8 of 22. Did have a double-double, 17 and 14. Derek White, it's like, Tatum's not doing well. All right, I'll just score 30. Get 16 from Jaylen Brown. 6th man of the year, Peyton Pritchard, adding 19.
Well deserved, honestly. Well deserved. He had a pretty solid year.
Cavs and the Heat. Honestly, the Heat played the Cavs pretty tough in this one.
Yeah, they played.
Ended up being a 21-point loss, but for a lot, like Cleveland, it's tough for them to pull away there for a while. And the Heat hung in it for a while. They're very well coached. They have a lot of effort on defense. I honestly think Cleveland's probably going to win this in 5 still, but I think the Heat they snag one from them in this one. But
they could take 1 year for sure. Once it goes back to Miami, they could definitely
for sure.
Here.
We're going to jump
like the Pistons did.
This has been an intriguing series. They got shell shocked and
choked the first game.
They choked, gave up a 21-0 run by New York in a game where I think Cade, he looked a real uncomfortable in this one, a little unsure of himself. Tobias Harris was your leading scorer, which, I mean, he's known to put up some stinkers in the playoff, but he's been pretty good so far. He's looking really good in that mid-range. He was super efficient from 3. But yeah, Cade, a little unsure of himself, I think. And it just, that kind of affected them. Brunson, 34 points, but on pretty terrible efficiency, man. He's just like running to the hoop and
throwing up.
Yeah, just kind of just throwing up shots. Getting some value at the line. Katz looked really good. I mean, he's just abusing. They're switching him onto a smaller defender, and he's just abusing them in the mid-range. But this second game, I think Cade felt a lot more comfortable. He seemed a lot more sure of himself.
Oh, yeah.
And
11 for 21. Took 42 minutes here.
Yeah.
12 free throw attempts. 12 boards, too. Yeah,
Right.
he was really just all over the court here. He gets pretty good matchups here with his size, too, against this New York team. Like, you don't want to see Jalen Brunson guarding him ever, or that is a complete mismatch.
And again, Brunson, 37 points on really bad efficiency. Like, Beasley seems to just have him, Beasley, Schroeder, they just seem to have him, like, really uncomfortable. And even Cade, when he's guarding him, man. Like, they're just making Brunson seem pretty uncomfortable. No Isaiah Stewart in this one, dealing with some knee inflammation. But Jalen Durham, man, him and that pick and roll action with Cade, very lethal. And I think just generally a bigger team, the Pistons are bigger, a little more physical. I kind of think they could take this in 6, man.
They really could. They could come out of here with a win.
Multiple guys with 12 or more boards in this one, 33 out of Cade. And they just match up really well with them defensively,
This is going to be a fun series. I'm looking forward to seeing the final 2 games. Or obviously not the final 2 games. The final games of the series. HG, why don't you wrap us up for this week?
All right,
Got through our final series.
We have reached the final whistle here. I'm HG with my co-host Caveman to my right. We got H-Train on the sound. Thank you again for listening to another episode of Till the Final Whistle on Military Broadcast Radio. We'll see you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.